Most people think they'll figure out retirement later, but there's one decade that quietly decides everything, and most people burn right through it without realizing it. Two brothers, same house, same schools, same salary for 30 years. One retired with $1.4 million. The other is still working at 67. What happened? The answer is not luck. It's not income. It's not even investing skill. It comes down to one single decade, and the decisions most people think don't matter. I'm Buck. I've spent years breaking down the money moves that separate a comfortable retirement from a stressed one. And today I'm handing you the playbook before it's too late. Stick around to the end because I'm going to show you the exact numbers, the actual math, that proves why your 40s carry more financial power than every other decade combined. Let's talk about why your 40s hit different. First, peak earning power. For most people, income maxes out somewhere between age 42 and 55. You've never had this much raw fuel, and you never will again. Second, you still have 20 to 25 years of compounding left. A dollar invested at 40 becomes $4 by 65. Wait until 50, and that same dollar only becomes 2.5. Third, expense stabilization. Your 40s are when the spending chaos of your 30s finally starts settling. The kids aren't toddlers anymore. The house fits. The career wardrobe is done. These three forces, peak income, strong compounding, and stabilizing expenses, align only once in your life. This is that window. What you do with it determines the shape of the rest of your life. Now let me give you the numbers. Say you hit 40 with 100,000 saved. You earn 110,000 a year. If you save 15% every year until 65 and invest it in index funds, you're looking at 1.35 million at retirement. But what if you only save 5% in your 40s, then panic and crank it up to 15% at 50? You'll end up with around 780,000. That's 570,000 less from just one decade of slacking off. And if you actually decrease your savings in your 40s to fund a bigger lifestyle, even aggressive catch-up saving in your 50s only gets you to around 590,000. The gap is permanent. You cannot math your way out of a missed decade. So what actually causes the damage? Let's start with a big one, housing. Your 40s are when the upgrade itch hits hardest. The kids need more room. You've earned it. The mortgage feels manageable. It's the most dangerous thinking in personal finance. Upgrading from a $350,000 home to a $600,000 home adds roughly $1,800 a month in costs. Over 25 years invested instead. A hoke? That's over $1 million in retirement wealth. You're not buying a nicer house, you are buying a worse retirement. And it's not just housing. Vehicles are the silent killer of retirement savings in your 40s. Trading a reliable $28,000 car for a $45,000 status symbol might feel like a small upgrade. Run the real numbers and it costs you up to $400,000 in retirement wealth. Here's why the car math is brutal. It's not just the purchase price. It's the higher insurance, the more expensive repairs, and the fact that you replace it again in 5 years. The premium compounds in reverse against you over and over. Now let's talk about the decision that brings out the most emotion. Your kid's college education. Some families take on $100,000 in Parent Plus loans to send their kids to prestigious universities. Let me be direct. You are sacrificing your retirement to fund the starting line of someone who has 40 peak earning years ahead of them. State schools with scholarships, community college transfers, work-study programs. These aren't settling for less. They're choosing your security without abandoning your kids. They can recover from student debt. You cannot recover from a depleted retirement account. Let's talk about something most financial content won't touch. Career risk tolerance in your 40s. Most people get more conservative, right when they should be getting more strategic. You've got experience, skills, and 20 more working years ahead. Your 40s are the last window for income acceleration. Taking a job that pays $40,000 more per year in your early 40s even if it feels risky, can mean 300,000 to 400,000 in additional earnings over the following decade. That's before we even talk about compounding. By your early 50s, hiring discrimination starts creeping in. The window closes quietly. And then there's what I call the social pressure trap. Your colleagues are going on elaborate vacations. Your neighbors are renovating their kitchens. Your friends just bought a boat. Your 40s will throw more of this keeping up pressure at you than any other decade. It is the most expensive game you will ever be invited to play. Research consistently shows lifestyle upgrades provide a happiness boost for about 18 to 24 months. Then you adapt and it becomes your new normal. The upgraded house stops feeling special. The fancy car is just your car. But the financial consequences? Those are permanent and compounding. I want to tell you about David and Christine. At 40, they had $185,000 saved, a $320,000 home, 2 kids, and a combined income of $165,000. They had the raw material for a spectacular retirement. Then came the decisions. First, David pushed for the bigger house, a nicer development. $575,000. It added $1,650 a month. To cover it, they trimmed retirement contributions from 15% down to 6%. It's temporary, they told themselves. It was not temporary. 2 years later, David's car needed work. Instead of repairing it, they upgraded. Then Christine's car was next. Then came high school years, private sports coaching, SAT tutors, college visits. Every decision felt completely reasonable. Every decision cost them more than they knew. When their daughter enrolled out of state, they took a Parent Plus loan rather than asking her to choose an affordable option. At 50, David and Christine had $240,000 in retirement savings, just $55,000 more than they'd had at 40 after a full decade of contributions and market returns. They panicked. They maxed contributions. They hustled. By 65, they had $685,000. It felt like a lot until the retirement projections came back. At their spending rate, they'd run out of money by 82. They needed to sell the house, slash lifestyle, or work into their 70s. Now meet Robert and Jennifer. At 40, they looked almost identical to David and Christine. Combined income of $155,000, $165,000 saved, 2 kids. When Robert suggested upgrading the house, Jennifer said no. She'd done the math. That single conversation changed everything. The $1,650 a month they didn't spend on housing went straight to retirement accounts. When Robert's car needed replacing, they bought certified pre-owned. When college came, honest conversations led both kids to state schools with merit scholarships. Every no was painful. Every no built wealth. At 50, Robert and Jennifer had $580,000 in retirement savings, more than triple what they'd started with at 40. By 65, $1.65 million. House paid off. Zero financial anxiety. Complete freedom to retire on their terms. Same decade, completely different decisions. Here's the part I need you to really sit with. During their 40s, both couples reported feeling equally satisfied with life. David and Christine enjoyed nice vacations and a beautiful home. Robert and Jennifer felt the pressure of missing out, but happiness levels nearly identical. The difference only showed up later for the rest of their lives. This is the central lie of lifestyle inflation. You believe you're buying happiness. You're actually buying 18 months of novelty, followed by decades of financial constraint. The sacrifice feels real. The reward is invisible until it isn't. And by then, you're 70 years old. So, what does the right 40s strategy actually look like in practice? Let me walk you through it. The first pillar is protecting your savings rate like it's non-negotiable, because it is. Whatever percentage you're saving right now, it is a floor, not a target. The single biggest threat to your savings rate in your 40s is not a stock market crash. It's not inflation. It's a housing upgrade that seems affordable. Don't let a monthly payment calculation trick you. Always evaluate a housing decision by what it costs you in retirement wealth over 25 years. The second pillar, define enough before your income makes excess possible. This is a conversation you need to have with yourself and your partner if you have one right now. What lifestyle do we actually need to be happy? What lifestyle are we just trained to want? Research on happiness and spending consistently shows that experiences, relationships, and time freedom drive long-term well-being. A bigger house and a fancier car rank low once basic comfort is covered. You are optimizing for the wrong thing if you're chasing status. The third pillar, automate your savings to remove willpower from the equation. Set up automatic transfers to your 401k, IRA, and brokerage the day you get paid. If the money never hits your checking account, you cannot spend it on a lifestyle upgrade. The fourth pillar, treat career moves as investments. Between 40 and 50, a strategic job change that adds $30,000 to $40,000 a year to your income is worth more than almost any investment you'll ever make. That extra income, saved aggressively, becomes $500,000 in retirement wealth. The fifth pillar, play offense on the expense side. Every year, audit your three biggest expenses: housing, transportation, and food. Ask not, can we afford this? But is this the highest value use of these dollars? That question reframes every spending decision. Now let me speak directly to where you are right now. If you're in your 20s or early 30s, you have the rarest gift: foresight. You now know what's coming. Build the habits now, automate savings, resist lifestyle creep early. When your income jumps, save the raise before you can spend it. The person who reaches 40 with strong habits already in place doesn't have to fight temptation. They just continue the pattern. The person who hits 40 without those habits faces a decade of constant resistance. Build the grooves early so the 40s are about acceleration, not correction. If you're entering your 40s right now, you are standing at the most important financial inflection point of your life today. Not next year. Not when you get the next raise. This is the moment to do a full audit of every major expense category and ask, is this serving my future or stealing from it? Is your housing appropriately sized for your actual life or for the life you think you're supposed to be living? Is your vehicle transportation or a status signal costing you $1 million retirement? These are uncomfortable questions. Uncomfortable questions save retirements. If you're in your late 40s and you're recognizing yourself in the wrong story, first, breathe. You still have time. Every single percentage point you add to your savings rate right now moves the needle, not as much as it would have 5 years ago, more than it will 5 years from now. If you're in the late 40s and behind, you need to consider options that feel radical but actually aren't. Downsizing your home now, before retirement, releases equity you can invest during your highest compounding remaining years. This single move can change your entire retirement trajectory. And if you're already past your 40s, with savings that feel inadequate, I'm not here to make you feel bad. I'm here to tell you there are still levers you can pull. Delay Social Security as long as possible. Each year you wait past 62 increases your monthly benefit by roughly 7 to 8%. Working 2 more years than you planned can be more financially powerful than you think. It adds contributions, extends compounding, and delays withdrawals all at once. The math of working 67 instead of 65 often adds $200,000 or more to your effective retirement wealth. Let me address the psychological elephant in the room. The whole reason these traps work is that they feel earned. You've worked hard for 20 years. The house upgrade feels like a reward. The nice car feels like proof of success. The expensive college feels like love. But here's the reframe that changes everything. True reward is not consumption, it's freedom. The person who resists lifestyle inflation in their 40s doesn't get a lesser life. They get to choose their life. They can leave a job they hate. They can say yes to things that actually matter. They can weather any storm. The discomfort of living below your means in your 40s lasts 10 years. The reward of financial freedom in retirement lasts 30 or more. The pleasure of the lifestyle upgrade lasts 18 months. The consequence of that upgrade constrains you for the rest of your life. Which math do you prefer? I want you to do one thing right now. And I mean right now, not when the video ends. Pull up your retirement account balance. Write down what you're currently contributing. Calculate what 1% more of your income would be. Because in your 40s, 1% more is worth more than you can possibly imagine. A 45-year-old earning $100,000 a year who increases contributions by just 1%, $1,000 extra per year, will have approximately $73,000 more at retirement, assuming historical market returns. That's from 1%. Imagine what 2 or 3% can do. Now, let's talk about investing strategy, because saving the right amount in the wrong place is still a problem. In your 40s, your retirement account should be primarily invested in diversified, low-cost index funds, not individual stocks, not crypto, not your brother-in-law's real estate deal. The average expense ratio on actively managed funds is around 0.75% to 1%. The average on index funds is around 0.03% to 0.1%. That difference sounds tiny. Over 25 years on a 500,000 portfolio, it's the difference of roughly 150,000 to 200,000 in final wealth. Fees are a retirement tax you chose to pay. Asset allocation in your 40s matters too. A common rule of thumb is to hold your age as the percentage in bonds. So a 45-year-old might hold 45% bonds. But with longer life expectancies and 20 years of growth ahead, many financial planners now suggest being more equity heavy, something like 70 to 80% stocks, in your early to mid 40s. Now let's close the loop on the big picture. Imagine yourself at 70. You wake up on a Tuesday morning. In the first version of your life, you're thinking about which grandkid to visit. You're planning a trip. You have no financial anxiety. You make choices based on desire, not necessity. In the second version, you're at the same age, but you're calculating whether your Social Security check covers your property taxes and your prescriptions. You're losing sleep. You're working part-time, not because you want to, but because you have to. Both versions of you made their choice in their 40s. The story of the two brothers from the beginning, the one who retired with $1.4 million didn't earn more. He didn't pick better stocks. He didn't get lucky. He just made a series of small, boring, consistent decisions for 10 years. He said no to the big house. He bought used cars. He kept his savings rate untouched. The other brother wasn't reckless or irresponsible. He loved his family. He worked hard. He made decisions that seemed completely reasonable in the moment, the same decisions millions of people make every day without understanding the 25-year consequence that compounds invisibly behind them. The 40s will happen to you regardless. Time doesn't pause while you decide whether to be intentional. The decade ends either way. The only question is whether you exit it having captured the most powerful financial window of your life or having spent it. Here is your action plan. If you're under 40, automate savings now, define enough before your income makes excess possible, and protect your savings rate from every future pay raise. Let half of every raise go to savings before you learn to live without it. If you're in your 40s right now, run the housing math, not monthly payment math, but 25-year retirement wealth math. Audit your vehicles. Protect your savings rate as sacred. Consider strategic career moves. And talk to your kids about affordable college options before they apply. If you're past your 40s, delay Social Security as long as your health allows. Downsize housing to release equity. Consider working a few extra years. And remember, every dollar you can redirect to index funds today still has time to compound in your favor. The most important thing I can leave you with, the 40s don't punish you for enjoying life. They punish you for confusing lifestyle expansion with life quality. You can travel in your 40s. You can enjoy dinners out. You can invest in experiences. Just don't mistake a bigger house and a fancier car for happiness. The data says they aren't. Your 40s will decide everything. Not because they're the hardest decade, because they're the most leveraged decade. The stakes multiply in ways that only become clear when it's too late to change course, unless you understand them now, which you do. If this video helped you see your 40s differently, hit subscribe, because every week I'm breaking down the exact decisions that separate comfortable retirement from financial stress. And if you're ready to take your first step toward financial freedom, then watch this next video and learn how to make every dollar work in your favor. Your future self will thank you.